So a couple things that you guys need to understand about a storm. I mean, first off, I guess we should talk about preparing for a storm. So when a storm hits, there is going to be the opportunity to sign 6, 7, 8 contracts a day, and you might do that for 2 or 3 weeks straight, depending on the size of the storm. Um, it's going to get really hectic. So how do we prepare for the storm? Well, first thing is file reviews are the biggest part of preparing for a storm. If a storm hits and you still have if your files are tight, if you've done everything that you can for your files as much as possible, then if a storm hits, you can immediately head over to wherever the storm is and start canvassing there. Now, when do storms hit? Well, they can hit any time of year. I've seen storms hit November. I've seen them hit in December. Usually they hit in the spring. What day of the week do they hit? Doesn't matter. A lot of times it seems like they hit late Saturday night, and the money goes to whoever wants to get up and work on a Sunday. That's just I don't control the storms. I'm just telling you what happens. Um, but the storms usually hit, and depending on the size of the storm. So as you're looking at as you're looking at a hail map, you're going to notice that the hail maps have kind of a color code. So yellow is usually 3/4 of an inch. The darker is kind of an orange, which is usually 1 inch to 1 1/4 inch. And then you start getting into the red stuff. And when I'm talking about a storm, I'm usually meaning the red and purple. So basically 1.5 inch or better. Now, when you see the yellow on the hail map, that doesn't mean there's nothing to be worked. The 3/4 of an inch hail, that's going to cause damage to your older shingles. So your 10, 15-year-old 3 tabs are more likely to take damage. If you've got the other thing to keep in mind with yellow hail, a lot of times what you see on the hail maps is the yellow zone is a really large zone. That doesn't mean that everything in that zone consistently got hit with 3/4 inch hail. There are going to be parts of that zone that got hit with half inch hail or smaller, and there's going to be parts of that zone that got hit with 1 inch hail, 1 1/4 inch hail. So those big yellow zones are great places to work and find out, all right, what got hit. But the purple and the red zones, that's where you want to get to immediately. So that 1.5 inch hail, a lot of times it's also accompanied by wind. Those are situations where you don't just get a roof, you get roof, full gutters, siding, siding wraps, you get windows, you get garages paid for. Jobs that might have been $15,000 with just the roof are $45,000 and $60,000 because you've got all of these other things paid for. So when we see those red and those purple hail, guys, you want to get there as soon as possible, because all of a sudden, instead of it just being a $15,000 job, it's now a $45,000 job. Or instead of being a $40,000 job, maybe it's a $100,000 job. Whatever the case may be, guys. So you want to drop everything and get there as quickly as possible. I mean, you might want to start making plans with family and friends. Like, guys, like, talk with your wife, like, help her understand the opportunity that happens when a storm hits. I mean, you're not going to have time to explain it once the storm comes. So you need to let her know, like, hey, this contract that I signed for $800, I'm getting an $800 or $2,000 commission on. Like, that's exciting. Yay, that makes a good life for us. But if a storm hits, I have the ability to go out and sign 6 or 7 of those in a single day. And like I said, it might be a storm that hits Saturday night, and you want to be out there pounding the pavement on Sunday. You need to prepare your family for the fact that this is going to come, and when this happens, you need to drop everything and get going, because your competitors aren't going to wait for you, right? They're not going to be, oh, hey, we're still waiting on Dustin to get here before we all start knocking doors. No, no, guys, they're looking at the same hail maps as you. They are. They're doing the same things that we are. So when the storms hit, everybody, you're going to be in neighborhoods, and you're going to be seeing, like, legitimately, I've been on streets and had 3 different competitors on a single street, and we're just trying to talk to as many people as possible. You know, it's kind of like Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last. So keep your files tight. Prep your family for the fact that you may have to drop everything and go. And then the other thing to do is there are a lot of hail services. So Hail Recon is one, Hail Trace is another. But basically, kind of Google a couple of these, and each one of them has a basically a way you can sign up, and then you can get alerts. So if you want all of the alerts in a particular state, you sign up and say, hey, anytime hail hits in this state, let me know. They'll send you alert, and then you can get on our hail system and check it out. But that way, as soon as the hail starts hitting, they're sending you alerts to your phone so that you know to get on that. You don't, like I said, you want to know about hail as soon as it hits. The first couple times that hail hits, before you jump in the truck and head out there, give me a call. Let's look at the map together. Make sure that it makes sense to go out there. I mean, if you're talking 3/4 of an inch or three-quarter of an inch to 1.25 inches, it kind of depends on if on what you've got going on right now. Sometimes it makes more sense just to stay where you are. The other thing is, a lot of times hail will hit very rural areas. So I mean, if it hits a large swath of land, but all that's covered in that, you might have 3-inch hail, and you get all excited about it, but then you look at the map, you're like, well, I guess there's 4 farmhouses out there. It's not really worth a 45-minute drive to knock 4 farmhouses, right? So you got to kind of look at what's been hit, what the area is, and whether it makes sense to get out there. But just the secret to winning a storm, to really making the most out of a storm, is making sure that you're prepared. So your files are tight. Your family knows that you may have to drop everything and run out to work a storm, and also make sure you're signed up for hail alerts so that you get the notification as soon as the storm hits. So those are the things we're going to do to prepare for a storm. When a storm hits, like I said, guys, there's a lot of money to be made. Thanks, guys.